Good morning. Today we are having a look at Matthew's Gospel, chapter 20, verses 17 to 28. And it's that rather interesting situation where the mother of the apostles, James and John, comes to Jesus and said, "Jesus, in your kingdom, will you let my sons sit on your right and on your left? Will you allow them to sit with you right next to you?" Clearly this, it's a mother sort of saying, come, let's try and organize things, let's curry favor. Although James and John, together with Peter, were actually the closest friends of Jesus anyway. They were always with him. But she was asking, could you make sure that when you get to your kingdom, that my sons are close to you as well? The other apostles, interestingly enough, when they heard about this, they got quite upset. Well, because there weren't enough spaces next to Jesus. But one may say that perhaps the mother of James and John was being a little bit selfish, putting them first, wanting them to have the best places. And it's perhaps a worldly way of looking at things. And Jesus says, well, those are not for me to give. But it kind of does ask ourselves, we must ask ourselves the question, where do we see ourselves in God's kingdom? Do you think maybe we're going to be sitting in the front row? Do you think maybe we're going to make it into God's kingdom? Hopefully you don't make it to the other place. But are we going to make it into God's kingdom? And where do we see ourselves in relation to Jesus at that time? How are we going to be able to relate to him and to everybody else? It fascinates me that there have been millions and millions and millions of people who pass through this world. And a good number of them will make it into heaven. And we'll have the opportunity of communicating with them. It could take a while. But then again, time doesn't have an element in eternity. But when we try and place ourselves in eternity, do we assume too much? Do we assume that because of the way in which we've lived our lives, that we're automatically going to be saved? Somebody said to me the other day, I don't always go to Mass, but I'm a good Catholic. I say all my prayers at home and everything like that. But, you're assuming too much. You need to appreciate that there's something of dying to oneself in order to be a servant, as we spoke about yesterday. Jesus came to serve, not to be served. And so we humble ourselves. And perhaps we should be at the back, encouraging other people to come in. At the back of the kingdom of God, that's what I'm talking about. Come in. Be their servants. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.